All right, welcome to Dead Letter Omissions. Um, this podcast is going to be primarily about underground music, um, whether it's grindcore, stoner rock, death metal, uh, doom. And then we're going to talk about some current events. Obviously, a lot of things are going on right now with the whole COVID situation. The world's kind of burning, but it should be fun. It should be fun. And my name's Steve. I am one of the hosts, and my co-host is Jeremy Dyson, and he's actually a writer of horror novels, primarily uh, zombie type horror novels,
Yeah, post-apocalyptic. That's what we.
post-apocalyptic. So, how does your writing um, connect to what's going on now? It seems like a very direct.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it is. And a lot of books I've read, like, have basically seen all of this like sort of played out in the fictional world, and now it's like reality here. And like, have you ever seen the movie Contagion?
yeah,
With Matt Damon. I mean, like they pretty. That's it's pretty close to what has been going on, except we haven't quite gotten to the people looting and whatever. Well, I actually no, I take that back. We've
yeah, we
gotten to
kind
that
of have.
part.
Yeah.
We've gotten to that part. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, we've been doing pretty good here. So can't really complain too much. A lot of people have it pretty rough, and um, I'm glad that we're doing all right. How about you guys? How are you holding up?
No, we're doing good. I the schools around here, I don't know what's going over by you. You're not too far away, but it's been are you keeping your kids home, or you can do e-learning? So that's strange. I think socially it's been weird in that way for the kids. For me, I'm fine. I'm totally cool. I can yeah, I can live this way forever. It's way less fast paced. Everybody has kind of like an out.
Well,
It's
not everybody has an out.
Oh, hey, Maggie showed up.
As our first guest, Steve.
No, I don't want to. Don't put my face up there, dude. It really does have an out. You know, stop putting me on camera. I'll punch you right in the seat, CXC face. So, what are we talking about here? Are you guys talking about?
Well, you're gonna have to show your head.
I'm not putting my boobies on. Ridiculous. Why would I
Okay.
show my stuff?
Jesus.
Should I just go back upstairs and let you guys do your thing?
No, this is actually kind of funny, but your face, not your.
Show my stuff, as he said. Dude, stop doing that. I want to have my face up on there.
How about she just gets a mask and then she could be like the mysterious co-host?
Fuck you guys.
There you go. I was a Jehovah's Witness kid, and they used to make me in the city put a paper bag over my head and cut out the eyes and make me stand at the back of the
All
line
right.
all
You gotta put a
shameful.
bag on my head. So, do you guys want to really discuss something? You told me to put a bag on my head, so here we go. All right, fine.
Well, what do you want? You gotta have a face. You
All
can't just.
right, all right. I have a face. Here's my face.
There you go.
Maggie is Steve's wife, and she's really cool. And so I guess she can, she'll sort of be like our first guest on the show here. Thanks for crashing the party, Maggie.
Absolutely. I'll keep just talking shit.
All right.
All right, so what are we talking about here?
All right. So, Maggie, what was your first concert?
My first concert. My first concert, I was tripping really hard on acid. I was 13, and it was
You were 13.
well, I was already selling acid at that time, but
You were
it was.
selling acid at 13.
Are we really doing this?
No, it's great.
It sounds really
No, it sounds
hideous.
perfect.
Smashing Pumpkins, and what it was at the time was what do you call it?
Rosemont Horizon.
Rosemont Horizon. And then I had this weird love and obsession for Billy Corgan. And then
Ew.
over the years, I realized he was just a really big piece of shit. So that was really quite odd, you know.
Jeremy, what was your first concert?
I went to see White Zombie. That was my first concert.
Oh, you're gonna say White Snake.
That's way better. It's way better.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember. I was at the Aragon Ballroom. I don't remember what year it was.
Was that in high school or?
Yeah, it was in high school. But yeah, and the Reverend Horton Heat played with him. It was pretty cool.
Oh,
At least
that's
that's.
cool.
I mean, there were concerts I was at before it, but that was like the first concert I actually like went out and bought tickets for, and
Right. The big show.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
In there.
mean,
That
before
was
that, it
better.
was probably mostly fireside shows or like somebody else got tickets and I was just tagging along for the ride kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I guess we probably should have prefaced it with like local band shows versus like big
Yeah.
concerts. But actually,
I
my
mean,
first show was a big concert too. So
Oh, goodness.
it was Metallica with Metal Church,
Oh, and your dad hated it.
91.
He was like miserable. Sorry.
I think Maggie's heard that story before. Yeah.
It's a funny story though. It's a good story and it's quite funny.
No, it's not that funny. My dad was just kind of an ass the whole time, saying they suck and telling me they suck while they were playing. So it's just kind of not enjoyable.
What album was that? Um,
That was right when the Black Album came out, but they still all had long hair. So
yeah, I got into Metallica when the Black Album came out, but not because of the Black Album. Like I heard the Black Album, I was like, yeah, it's all right. But then I listened to Ride the Lightning, and I was like, oh, I love Metallica. Like,
yeah,
and so,
I still listen to Metallica, even though they put out a good amount of bad albums. I think it was his junior year that Load album came out. Yeah, it was very confusing.
yeah, I remember a lot of disgruntled Metallica fans after that one first dropped.
So as far as shows go, though, what would you rank your top three?
Top three. Well, you were at one, which was the Melvins Fireside. Um,
Yeah, that show lasted forever. I didn't think they were doing like a Bruce Springsteen set. It lasted so long. It was like 4 hours.
Another one, I don't know. We've talked about this before, but somehow I think I've not remembered to include this show. But Shellac and Fugazi. Well, that was the only time I got to see Fugazi, which they
Seriously?
were, yeah, they were
Was that
amazing.
the roller skating rink or the ice rink or
The Congress Theater,
Congress?
Congress
Yeah.
Theater, yeah, Congress Theater. Um, yeah, and that was just awesome seeing those two together, and that was pretty much one of the best shows I could imagine. I'll probably, like I said, I would say the show both you guys were at, the Baroness show that
That was
we were all at, going to see that, and that's one of the first concerts I got to actually go see with Sarah because kid life, we didn't really get to
Yes,
get
she
out and go to
totally
concerts for a long time.
He totally did dig that shit.
Yeah, she really likes Baroness. She wears their shirt
Yeah.
all the time. She's
Well,
we don't agree on too many things musically, but that's one of the bands we both like. So
but having that bitch being that hardcore, that was a thing that how many chicks couldn't agree on that?
All right, so you top three.
Me what?
Well, you came down here.
Well, what are you asking me for?
Your top three best concerts.
My top three best concerts. Oh God. All right. I'm gonna say I was front row, dead center, Snoop Dogg. His shit was bad as hell.
Okay, Snoop Dogg.
All right. So my first is gotta be Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Second would be I did another show with it was a birthday show and it was absolutely Roger Waters, front row, dead center, and Roger Waters was like the shit that happened right before my eyes. All the stuff that I had expected to see when I was a teenager. And then I saw all that Pink Floyd shit right in front of my eyes. So I would say
So Snoop Dogg, Roger
Snoop
Waters.
Dogg,
Yeah, one more.
Roger Waters, and then I would say, oh my God, this is hard. The third one's hard. I mean, there's about 100 more, but realistically, watching Gina,
Okay, so you guys share one.
watching Gina, it fucking
Baroness, the Dirty
Baroness,
Dollars, and Peloton.
absolutely. It was mind blowing bullshit.
All right,
So
cool.
they would be number 3.
All right, you got
So number 1 is
Yeah, Snoop
Roger
Dogg,
Waters,
Roger Waters, Baroness.
Baroness. Yes.
I would say probably Mr. Bungle Disco Volante Tour. Within that, it's hard, man. It'd be like the 7 times I've seen Jesus Lizard, right there. The Shellac Fugazi stuff is great. I actually saw that four years in a row. They kept coming back to Chicago. Shellac, Fugazi, they played with Blonde Redhead one time. They played with Six Finger Satellite one time. Number 2 would probably be Cutthroats 9 at the Double Door, which is insane with like a more complicated drummer. So I kind of rocked it out more. And then number 1 would be last year, taking my son to go see Iron Maiden with Maggie.
Oh, true. It was good.
Just seeing him freaking out.
I'm going to go outside and have a pee. I'll be back.
Okay. You're going to go outside and pee?
Nothing better than peeing outside.
I'm leaving that in too. I'm not editing out anything.
I mean, I have
It's gonna
bathrooms.
be on Spotify, YouTube.
I can pee in, bathrooms. I have bathrooms.
All right, we'll go pee outside. I love you.
I just like to pee outside.
So I know we're going into the top 5 year to date as far as albums. There's been a million. I think COVID has definitely led people to just be, you could have a recording studio in your basement and you can write albums while you're doing nothing else. So the amount of albums that are coming out are seriously, I think, better than they would have been. And I don't even know what the fuck just happened. That was actually upstairs on the other side of the house.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what happened. But yeah, there's been so many albums that have come out that are exponentially better than I think, given the last few years. People just got time to reflect and, really care for the product that they're putting out. So I think that this year, especially any year, we're going to have so many good albums to choose from that it's going to take a lot of homework on our part to even kind of get through it. But we did do a top 5, at least as we know albums, and I think we should kind of go through those. So how about you start? Number 5.
Number 5 is the Omens album by Elder.
It's a great album.
I pretty much like everything that Elder puts out, and they're just great musicians. So I'm gonna play a little track from that album. This is Embers.
I love how that album starts out. You can actually hear the amplifier turn on and warm up, and then right when it warms up, they go into the first chord. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty unique. My number 5 is Aranzi Pazuzu, which is I guess a black metal band, but they are very psychedelic. So it's got that kind of layer going over it. I would say it's like a mix of, like, if Enslaved were a little more big on like reverb and delay pedals is I guess the best way I could put it. But so they have a jammy element, but they're still rooted in the black metal communities. So the song that I picked is one that I don't know how to pronounce. So it's Llmestys. So Lemestis by Aranzi Pazuzu.
There's a in the house. There is a bit in the house.
Is that
You're
what?
really making this difficult.
There is a bit in the house.
There's a bat in my house. Well, it's going to have to stay there for a minute.
Well, I mean, what's the problem? I mean, you don't like bats? You want to take 5, Steve, and go check out the bat situation?
We'll go get the bat out of the house. I will be right back. 5 minutes.
Do you not remember that there's
What are you doing?
there's a bat in the house?
Holy fuck.
You forgot there was a bat in the house.
No, I tried
It's like
explaining myself, my experience with the bat. That I don't
You
know,
just
we
left me up there
crossed
by myself?
eyes. No, it came together for like a second, and
you
then
just left me up there with a loose bat.
no, it's not like a bad, extremely muscular dude that's gonna.
There's a
You know.
bat in the house. It's just the kitchen, the dining room, living room, just woof, woof, woof,
Oh, he might just be like the guinea
checking
pig.
shit out.
He just like squeals when he
could
wants
eat the guinea
something.
pig.
He's not gonna eat the fucking guinea pig. No,
He would eat
that's
a
not a
guinea
thing.
pig.
He's not arguing with the guinea pig.
Maybe he would eat it.
Maybe I will eat you.
Maybe he's like
Or
a,
Jeremy. I don't know.
Maybe
I might
he's-
jump through this fucking.
maybe he's an American bat.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
He's
I
like
only
the
eat
eagle.
foreigners.
he's like the eagle of the
He's
guinea
American
pig.
bat. He only eats McDonald's and like.
Yeah. No.
That guinea
Yeah.
pig. That guinea pig's not from here. He's from New Guinea.
It's like he's way too lackadaisical. He must be an American.
He's got a lazy American bat.
And then we just like challenge him to a fucking race around the block. Like start with the block.
Yeah, the bat came into your house. It's gonna sit on your couch and watch American Ninja Warrior, like, eat Cheetos and shit.
Yeah.
He thought I was full of shit. No, I was not full of shit. There was actually a bat in the house.
Yeah. And we opened the doors. I think it's still upstairs.
He's in there. Oh, he's still there, dude.
Is
I mean,
it
it
gonna
seemed-
turn into a vampire?
Dude, he's still totally in the house.
Like,
yeah, he could be.
Could be. You
Well,
know
yeah.
he's still in there.
Yeah. But I think
He was all stealth mode. This direction and that direction. He didn't go out the door. He was all stealthy.
it's probably
No.
Trying to go
Nandor
into
from
corners and stuff.
What
it's
We
like,
Do in the
I can't have a
Shadows.
dog.
Oh yeah, he was all stealth mode. Going into
That would
corners
be
and
cool.
shit.
Have a bat.
Well,
Yeah, just keep it.
they
A
do
pet
eat
bat.
mosquitoes, actually.
Yeah.
And they eat a lot of other bugs. And I have gardens. So bats are
So
kind of
cool.
cool because they eat
Yeah, just don't like play with its shit or anything. You'll get sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'd probably cook it really
don't
well
eat its
first.
shit.
Okay.
I think isn't that how all the like the really
No, we're not
bad
gonna eat
diseases?
the
No, I
bat. That would not be.
I
That'd
mean,
be like
No, not eating the
guinea
bat,
pig.
eating the bad shit. Because isn't
Yeah.
that what where people get sick from? They eat bad shit.
Yeah, like tree meat
these
or
were-
whatever
they
they call it.
because they were
Guano is
eating
guano, right? Guano.
Guano.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a different thing now. It wasn't because of the bat dung.
Yo, you gotta be.
It was
way
because of
closer.
the-
Don't call it bat dog. It's bad shit. Just like bad shit crazy. It's bad shit.
That shit.
I mean, sometimes they call it bat dung crazy. It's bad shit.
It wasn't really.
Guano.
I didn't think it was bat dung. I thought it was the eating of the meat of the bat was from what I understood.
Yeah, I
But-
don't know.
It's like tree meat.
I think they've
I don't
tested
know.
like what bats, and they find that they have like 300 different diseases that they carry, and like every your
Yeah.
average normal bat. So
But they're like,
Good
Yeah,
luck
but
with
they
that
get
one,
a
guys.
bad rap. I think it depends where those bats are.
agreed.
It's kinda like people.
agreed. And
You know.
bats eat like so many mosquitoes. Like
Probably where they get
Well,
all
that's
the
probably
diseases
why.
from.
'Cause they're eating shit that's biting people.
right.
You know.
They're infected with everything.
Agreed. That's what I think. Is bats are awesome. They have like, I have a bat in my house right now. I'm not really that cool with that. Like,
I'm not really worried about it.
well,
I kind of want to be like.
regardless,
Hmm.
we're downstairs in like the studio part of the house. We go upstairs. There's a bat just blasted through the house.
Craving attention and love.
I keep trying to open the windows and doors and stuff to let him out, and he don't want out, dude. He don't want out.
Yeah, that's possible.
I'm like, come on,
No,
be
he wants.
free.
Yeah.
Be free.
Dude, we'll be like the fucking monsters.
You just have bats in your house.
Oh,
Once it's
Yeah.
pregnant, it'll have like a whole flock of little bats.
God.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
Uh,
This dude feels like comfortable here. I'm like, this is not your home. You are not welcome here.
you're
He's a
totally welcome here.
really,
You're totally welcome here.
All right, next podcast we're gonna have the bat on. Special guest, Steve's new pet bat.
shit.
I'm gonna name him something ethnic.
I mean, I'm
Guillermo.
cool with that, but
Or Nandor.
I don't really want it like waving all over my house like midday.
we
I
just
just want him to be really like well-rounded, politically,
Oh,
culturally bad.
you didn't even think that I was
you
for
compare.
real. You thought you politicized.
You care about the
When I
bat's
was at the
political
bat's
stance.
house-
Yeah.
Are you a Republican bat or a Democrat bat?
I don't want the bad to go through all the shit that we're going through.
These poor bad.
Yeah.
I
I mean, they got it bad enough.
that was super corny, but really good.
Talking about like a third person to, but
I don't know.
like my wife. Oh, dude, my wife is so great.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
wanna be
that.
on a
That's not
screen.
like
I don't want to be in the screen. Like I might
Shut
talk
up. I don't.
regardless.
It's ridiculous.
All right, I'm gonna go have a yogurt and a pea
Yogurt?
and a cigarette.
It's gonna make you poop.
I'm gonna go eat yogurt.
For real, that's what
You
I'm gonna
sounded
do.
real sassy when you said that. All right, fine. I'm gonna go eat a yogurt.
Yeah.
Okay, Steven?
Fucking go have a yogurt.
All right, Steven, you just do your podcast. I'm gonna go have a yogurt.
Fuck you guys. I'm
Having
having
a fucking yogurt.
We love you, Maggie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Enjoy your yogurt.
I sure the fuck will.
All right.
All right.
So you're number 4.
My number 4 so far is Demonic Death Judge. And they are a band from Finland, I believe. All right, this is Elevation off of their latest album, The Trail.
kind of reminds me of I Hate God.
Another band that I haven't really listened to, only because
the best bands. I actually got to see them at the Fireside, and then it was like a week later, I got to see them in Wisconsin, opening up for the lineup was Deftones, or I Hate God, Deftones, White Zombie, Pantera, and I got backstage. And
it's a strange lineup. I mean,
yeah, it's a really strange lineup, but I talked to them at the Fireside for a while, bought them some beers, and then when I was back there, I just, got a chance to hang out with them. And I know that drummer is no longer with us, but yeah, it was a good time, man. But it reminds me of that for sure.
For To See As My Grave by Godthrim.
Gathram is its past members. I know of My Dang Bride and Paradise Lost, kind of when they went like that mid '90s, Tiamat, Paradise Lost, God forbid, had that like doomy kind of crushing. They slowed everything down, which was kind of a precursor to like Cathedral and bands like that. But yeah, I like it. It's singular as far as the guitar riffing, and don't expect much, but it just kind of puts you in that mode.
Yeah, it definitely. I hadn't heard of this band before, but it reminded me of My Dying Bride, and I was like, wow, that makes so much sense now. Because yeah,
yeah, it's one of the dudes for My Dying Bride during that period. So we're on to number 3.
All right, and my number 3 is Breakthrough and Conquer by Zombie, which is off of their new album, No Damage. Well, actually, I think the album now is called 2020. They had released it as an EP. It was called No Damage originally, and now that they turned it into a full album, they're calling it 2020, which is a shitty year and a shitty name for an album, but still one of the best albums I've heard so far. So they're, if you haven't heard Zombie before, they're basically, what you would hear at the beginning or end or middle of any sort of like horror movie, especially one that came out in the 80s.
Well, I know they kind of favored after that band Goblin that was Dario Argento or
right.
Or what's the other guy? Fulci.
Yeah.
Fulci. Like Zombie, like that kind of soundtrack. So
yeah, Fulci was the producer of Zombie. And I mean, it's largely like electronic. They do have some nice guitar work on this album, but it's very very much matches the time period that they're going for. Like every riff is like some sort of 80s guitar riff. It's just it's kind of perfect in my mind. Like I'm like, wow, that's you couldn't get more 80s than that guitar tone and that riff that was just played there. But anyway, so I'm gonna play. This is the song "Breakthrough and Conquer" off of their newest album. definitely one of the bands that I put into my playlist every time because that's the kind of music I like to do my work to.
Oh,
For
that would
me, I
make
mean,
sense.
yeah, I mean, like, I usually a lot of the bands I like, whether they're like Zombie or some of the more like metal bands like Elder or um, a band from back in the day like the fucking Champs. Remember the fucking Champs?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
were the champs.
Oh my
They
god.
became the
Yeah.
fucking champs.
But yeah, like anybody, I could listen to bands with a lot of vocals, but I just when I'm doing work, I generally prefer to like have the vocals sort of like be kind of not in the forefront so much. Um,
Right.
so yeah, I tend to gravitate towards a lot of music that's that way, just because it's sort of good to work to. But Zombie's new album, I can listen to the whole thing like all the way through. It's a really great album. And you're number 3, right? Where are we at?
My number 3. My
No.
beautiful wife is back.
Oh,
Hey, Maggie.
I don't like being on screen. I just don't like it.
So what? You're
That's
pretty.
all right. Thank you for crashing the podcast, Maggie. We appreciate it.
All right, what are we talking about? What are we discussing?
Well, right now we're just going through our top 5 albums of the year so far, and my number 3 is the Cro-Mags.
No, God, of course it is. He's obsessed with it. It's all the time, all the time.
Yeah, to me, the Cro-Mags, now they went into 2 different directions. You got Cro-Mags, and you got Cro-Mags JM, which is John Joseph and Maggie, from the original,
Oh God. Yes, it's a constant thing.
band. But yeah, I'm obsessed with the Cro-Mags. It's my shit. But I think Harley really like took it on his own, like when Alpha Omega came out. What was that, 93?
All right,
He's
so
just got this like woo, but
my
I think
God.
it influenced like bands like Life of Agony, that whole kind of nasally shit that people are doing over hardcore. But
there's a lot of nasally stuff. There's a lot of nasally stuff.
yeah, but I don't care about that. I love the Cro-Mags. Love the Cro-Mags.
I mean,
So we
Yeah,
picked this
I told
song.
you I like the new album. I was not a big Cro-Mags fan like before, but I like the new album better than the old Cro-Mags. I think they've definitely aged well, and this new shit's really good.
she was obsessed with it mostly all day, every day.
Yeah, that's what I listen to.
Yeah,
I listen to the Cro-Mags, and it just
every
makes me feel
album.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Every album,
Steve's like got a thing for bands that start with Crow. If anybody wants Steve to buy their albums, like Crowbar, Cro-Mags. Just start your band with Crow, and then Steve is going to probably buy your T-shirts and your albums.
It's gonna happen. If you just start your band with Crow, it's gonna be good. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm drinking Mickey's.
Oh, is that why you're peeing in the yard?
Well,
Apparently.
when you're drinking Mickey's, you get
You're crashing the podcast and pee into the yard because you've been drinking?
Oh no, we're gonna. We just.
This is going to be a regular occurrence. That I'm excited. This is awesome.
Fun, and I'm really good at these Mickey caps.
The Mickey caps.
Yeah, remember? Back in the day when we were kids. Oh, maybe not kids, but we drank
remember.
Mickey's and the caps. And there were like little things you have to figure out. Remember?
Yeah, no, I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
You don't? All right, bro.
Oh,
All right,
so I
anyway.
think we're already at number 2.
so my number 2 was the latest album by Intronaut, which is Fluid Existential Inversions.
Those guys are so talented.
Wait, what?
No, I said those guys are so talented.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out this Mickey gap.
All right. All right. We're going to keep that on the down.
Sorry, I'll shut up. I have to what's a puzzle?
Okay. Internet. Guys, how do you stay here?
I'm going to just turn around. I'll turn around.
she's trying to focus. We got to get this puzzle solved. By the end of the podcast, I expect that puzzle to be solved, Maggie. You got to come through for us. All 5 of our listeners are going to be waiting in anticipation to find out the answer.
I have a feeling we're going to have a few more than 5.
All right. So my number 2 is Intronaut, and this is Cubensis off of their latest album.
All right, let's do it.
So
I mean, they're
yeah,
obviously very good at their instruments. I mean,
yeah, they are. They still rock though. I like them a lot, and yeah, I mean, you kind of get there's definitely some prog, and I mean, back in the day, I used to go to a lot of the bands that were math rock at the fireside. So a band like this that just can still rock, and yeah, I mean, they're right up my alley. I love listening to them. Pretty much every one of their albums that comes out, I'm first day it's out, I'm checking it out usually.
Yo, Mags is still on that bottle cap.
Hey, fuck you guys. Like that.
I tell you got to the end of the show, Mags. No rush.
Like that. I have
the audience is waiting though. They want to know the answer. They're gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna go get the ones in my bedroom.
What?
She's giving more of them.
I have more of these.
Which means she couldn't sell that one.
Is this to prove her bottle cap knowledge?
No, but I think Internet is great. I would say if you were to, I don't know much about the background of the band.
Yeah, I mean, I think that their history is really mostly just based in Intronaut. They're not really I mean, their first album came out in 2006, so that's that's a super long time to be in a band.
True.
But yeah, I mean, and as far as I know, I'm not really aware of any side projects.
Well, so my number 2 would be Temple of Void. The
World That Was. That's a cool album.
The World That Was is great. Yeah, it's perfect for right now. They got
that's a very 2020 album title.
Heavy metal pedal thing, but they have kind of the incantation Maya layers of. I don't know. I think these guys are perfect.
Yeah. All right. So, what album or what song are we doing off of here?
Just do the title track, or the first song, Rips.
A Beast Among Us. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I just love that shit. Like I
Yeah,
can
it's
have
good stuff, man.
like that old school Swedish feel, but with like a lot more depth. Like, and if you listen to those guys talk, they're all into like weird indie rock, Godflesh. Like they put a lot of other elements in their music. So I know one guy is a firefighter. Um, I don't know. Like all of them just seem like really cool dudes. So
I got it.
oh
I got it.
oh
Try it again.
Puzzle has been solved.
Yeah. Dude, check it out.
Mile Bolham Clover.
Clover. All right, we're talking about Mickey's
This side.
caps.
The mic.
You know how you do Mickey's? And then there's like a little puzzle inside. This kind of jake me in the forehead, bro. Jesus. Look what it is. Try one more time.
All right. Can we get this on camera?
All right.
It's not going to
It's,
focus.
you know, what do you do?
It's going to be like super blurry. It looks
You
like a
drink
poop on a
Mickey's,
cap. I
and
don't know.
You drink
Is that a
Mickey's,
turkey
it
leg?
goes all
What?
the way to the Mile High Club, dude.
Wait, what? What's it say on there?
Mile High Club.
Mile High Club. So it's an
What?
M and then an eyeball and then an L. And then the second line is a bowling ball with a hand and a club,
Mile High Club, bro.
you know, from cards. All right, cool. Just
It's
I
a round of
think
applause.
you can figure out these
Round of applause for Maggie.
yeah, you did it. All right.
She's the brains of this operation for sure.
All right.
But I think we should do a segment where we just drink Mickey's and then
What?
we try to figure out the caps. Because it's a hilarious and fun game.
All right. Well, I'm not against it, but we will see what happens. But we have to go to number 1
Oh my God.
on our list.
Maggie
All right.
sounds excited about this.
Sorry
this
about
part.
that, Mickey's. All right, moving on. Number 1.
I actually love you on here.
Moving
All
on.
right. So my number 1 is let's see, Huntsman, the new album that they put out, and yeah, I really love this album. I'm kind of new to this whole like folk metal scene, which apparently there's a lot more bands than I realized before. But these guys, I mean, I think they just do everything so well. The first half of the album, I definitely like a little bit more than the second half, but I just overall, I just thought, these guys are a sound that I totally want to hear more of.
Yeah, blast it out because I'm really into that. So go ahead and put it out there.
So that's the first track off their album called Ride Out.
So what's the band name again?
Huntsman.
Huntsman, yes. And they're really just super talented, but they still kick ass too. So it's like they're not just showing off and blowing steam. They're
No,
like,
that's actually some shit that I love to listen to.
yeah. I'm excited when this whole COVID thing is over. They're gonna be one of the top bands on my list to go check out because they are really cool.
I will absolutely accompany you. That is something I would do.
Well, I'm
So then
really
you're going
excited about my
Stooges.
number 1. Like,
All right, what's
Tombs
your
is one of my favorite fucking bands. Um, I I'm really excited that we have the opportunity to actually have the singer, guitar player, songwriter on our podcast. But like to me, they incorporate death rock, black metal, death metal, like the old school goth, kind of vocals. Um, I I don't know. I think they're one of the best living bands right now. So Tombs, the song I chose is "Once Falls the Guillotine,"
All right, carry on then.
and there is some speculation on this album because is it an EP or is it an album? It's over 30 minutes, so if you think about it, Rain and Blood was like 29 minutes.
All right, so why don't you just blast it out here so we can get a good idea what we're talking about?
After we're talking about this first album, and I definitely, their old sound really, you're right, like totally Amphetamine Reptile kind of.
Yeah, the AMRAP.
Yeah, I really, I downloaded a few tracks off of their Winter Hours album too, for sure. And then like, having listened to it and then seeing where like they've come to today, the, I mean, in some respects, it kind of sounds like a different band. But at the same time, you could see like, how
Like
the
where you came
evolution.
from and like how.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's a couple songs on here that I really liked too. The Dark Rift was actually the one I was gonna put on here before I got your list, because that song I thought was the best one on
I'll play
the
it.
album or EP. All right, let
I
me
had it actually pee. So it was
I'll go piss outside.
Are you peeing again?
it's funny because you said pee, and I thought, yeah, you're right. I do have to go pee.
Oh yeah. I would suggest you do.
I'll be back.
All right. We'll play, a bit of the Dark Rift here while we wait for Maggie to pee. This is excellent peeing music. Yeah, I just like that song. I like I like his vocal stylings on that one too. It's like, I don't know, I just thought it was pretty
death
unique.
rock kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff, man. I still listen to like Christian Death all the time. Like, yeah, only Theater of Pain, like that first album, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did next pick an album, and I think we're gonna do this every episode, like just one album that resonates, with you. It could be new, it could be old.
Yeah.
I'm sure because we're fucking old, it'll be, probably high school-ish on a lot of them. But you also got, I know bands that you loved that were not around when we were in high school. So
yeah. I mean, it's we're in that mix now where like there's definitely, we're old enough that we listen to like some pretty old bands, and some of them are still around. Like we've been listening to Neurosis since high school. We've been listening to the Melvins since high school, and there's they're all still out there playing shows and concerts.
And those bands weren't really, in fairness, Jeremy, like those bands were not big bands.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
like, Neurosis was not
Yeah, I
big.
mean, you might even say that Neurosis was maybe bigger back then than they are now, because you had like the whole like Ozfest, and I mean they were playing some pretty big
Yeah, but I
festivals.
saw
But I
them at
just
Ozfest, and there was like 13 people.
oh really? It's-
Yeah, like you know,
and now they're selling out because I couldn't even get a ticket to the last show. Well, I could, but I was
well,
I
no,
I, I
people
could only get
get
a
like
shitty
how
ticket.
much they did. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Um, but yeah, so I mean, we're definitely at that, that sort of point in our lives where we have a lot of bands that we've been listening to for literally decades, more than like two
yeah,
decades a
that's
lot of
so fucked
times.
up, Chair.
And I mean, it's hard. I mean, like is for you like the Cro-Mags or the Melvins or Neurosis or, I mean, any number of other bands. But when they release something that you're going to be like emotionally attached to the album the first time you hear it,
Yeah,
because you're like, yeah, this is a band that I've lived with. But yeah, and at the same time, man, music today is it's so cool. There's such a cool dynamic in the fact that you can be some tiny little band in some little country that like in a remote part of a little country without much of a music scene. But I mean, you can reach fans all over the world. And so, um, I know I've been one like part of the reason I wanted to do the podcast is finding out about all of these bands online, and you know, there's like a whole new virtual music scene, really. Um,
there
and
is.
there's so many bands out there that I might never get the chance to see, but they're like some of my favorite newer bands that have come out, and I only know of them because I've been listening to different people's playlists, and finding out about all sorts of bands I would have never thought of checking out before. So hopefully we can do
No,
that
it's
too.
yeah, and it's super weird because when you digest music now in this environment, like you have millions of bands that you would listen to, and I'm sure we don't even touch the ground from like the bands that we didn't have the opportunity to listen to. But if you think about it, like when you picked up your first album and had like a ridiculous artist, like that caught your attention,
Hmm.
like in a record shop, like it's kind of the same thing now, but you have to invent that thing that no one's going through an album. It's just not happening now. You're not going to go through a pile of albums, and one, we don't have that. But the way that people are digesting things right now, how do you stand out?
Hmm.
Like, what is it that's going to like grab, or it could be that grab the attention of your demographic? Like, you love Slayer and Nuclear Assault and this band. Like, why would I want to listen to you and not listen to my old Slayer albums? You know, so there's got to be something that's like in
Yeah.
that continuum, of metal or underground music that actually like you project above other people, and it's really up to you, but it could be like a really magnificently ridiculous performer of a singer or actual singer because no one's going to shows right now. So even layered with that, I mean, how do you separate yourselves from like everyone's releasing an album right now because
Hmm.
everyone's creative and they're stuck in their house,
Yeah.
and those are the albums that really stand out. And today we had to pick one that we wanted to talk about, which is that's a hefty thing to put your
Yeah.
name on.
And we were both like, well, I don't know. You seem to, I don't know if you kind of think, I think, thought about this more because you had been on a podcast recently, so you had kind of had the chance to sort of digest that
True.
ahead of time. But I
Yeah, with
mean,
a lot of good guidance for sure.
yeah, I mean, I had a lot of immediate thoughts, and then I decided, I settled on one that was not like something that I would have immediately gravitated on. Because I mean, like for me, if you know me, obviously the Sword, Neurosis, um, Melvins, those are sort of like, I mean, my top three artists. Like if I had to pick like three artists that I can only listen to those three artists, it would be
Yeah, it's
like
a
it.
tough one.
But I
Roast
also,
is on mine too, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But
It's a I mean, there's a lot of bands that could potentially also be on there, but I'm just looking at like through the years, who have I been listening to for a long time? Who are the bands that I kind of like, you know, are sort of my home territory kind of thing. And
right.
but and then that's where when we talked about doing it, I was like, well, I kind of wanted to do something that's more like what I've been gravitating towards like recently. And so a lot of that has to do with like discovery and like um still like building on the kind of things I like I like bands that tend to be like riff heavy, maybe a little noisy, a little like, but they're pulling from like sort of like that doom stoner kind of
Yeah.
um background. And so my band was Silver Devil with their last album called Paralyzed. And I want to play
Yeah, I want to get into this. I really do.
I want to play their title. Well, it's not their title track. It's the first track off of there called Howl. I love this whole album. They have a backdrop of like a thunderstorm that just plays throughout the entire album. Um, which makes me want to like listen to track after track after track. It's one of the few albums I actually listen to all the way through from beginning to end, which I used to do a lot, but now with digital music, it's not necessarily a thing so much anymore.
The last time I had a band have that kind of effect on, what they were doing with old school was Fireball Ministry. And actually, I think in 2002, it was Fireball Ministry and Opeth, or no, Nevermore, and then Opeth. But yeah, they were just so good at what they did. It's super easy, but that floaty vocal and getting way deep with that, and then having like dissonant, kind of like, it reminds me of reggae. That's the only point of reference that I know, where you have a guitar or something that's, kind of floating above the music.
Hmm.
Like it could be a second guitar player, but it's a distraction. Like you got a pulse of, da, na, 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 and then
Yeah.
you got something else that's guiding. And yeah, I love that stuff. I think it's great.
They're not like doing anything that's like going to redefine music or anything. They're just extremely good at playing some good doom sludge rock. And I mean,
No,
like
there's
I
a
would,
difference between just doing something and being good at it.
yeah.
That means that you're understanding what all the motherfuckers around here are, you know, like thinking, and that's like scene shit. That's like the scene. And then to break through it, you got to just be like, oh, I get all you motherfuckers, and then
Just rock out.
no, just digest it and
Hmm.
take the riff and just make it pounding. And they might not get it right now, but they'll get it.
Oh no, not your number one.
Yeah, no, we are, man. I don't know. I get nervous about this one because it's like well, anyway, Voivod Phobos, and it's just ridiculously well written. Like Voivod was always the band that kind of got like they're like, oh, they're crazy. They influenced everyone, including Metallica, but like that album, they were just in this weird fucking like psychological like they stumbled upon something, and this is the album for me, and I could be wrong to like everyone else, but I think we should play some Voivod.
All right, man. Here we go. This is Mercury off of Phobos.
Yeah, so good. When you're in a band and the things that you wouldn't want to do, like they've just been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like, like it's not power chord, it's like fourths or whatever. Like, like the octave chord, the noise rock chord. Like they just do that and incorporate those notes into their melodies. And I don't know, like that guitar player that they got after the last couple albums is ridiculous. They've always been nuts.
Well, wasn't Jason Newsted in the band for a while?
No, yeah, I think he did 3 albums with them.
All right, man. It was a good show. I think we've got something. I don't know what. It'll be entertaining. At least to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess at least people might watch. Maybe. I don't know.
Prepared for lots of questions about why your wife pees outside, though. Just be like, I make her pee outside. What are you talking about? Do you let yours pee in the house? I let the bat go in the house. She pees outside.
No. You're not allowed inside to pee. That's gross. Fucking gross. No. We treat it outside like all the rest of them.
No, you sound like one of those politically biased bats that you're so afraid of.
No. All those women around that age that I have as wives,
all of them,
they have to pee outside. Well, thank you for listening to Dead Letter Emissions. I really appreciate your time, and it's been fun. I can't wait to see you next week. Have a great night.
Thank you. Later.